Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Trek fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and you're joining me in this video as I prepare to look at this wonderful ship from the Star Trek Starship Collection, but from the original version. So not the new fan home version. This is from the original Hero Collector and Eagle Moss version. And this is the USS Kobayashi Maru. And this is a very interesting ship for two very specific reasons. One, it's a ship that has been retroactively fitted into a lot of Star Trek lore, but actually made its sort of debut officially in the motion picture Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I say its debut. It formed part of a scenario, the no-win scenario, that over the course of the film we discover Captain Kirk doesn't believe in. But it is essentially a Starfleet training. So spoilers if you've not seen Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, or indeed the Star Trek reboot movie with, not reboot, parallel universe movie with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto and Carl Urban, etc. But the Kobayashi Maru scenario is essentially whatever you do, the odds are stacked against you. So you try and save the ship and its passengers, etc. But it puts you into a position of conflict with some aggressors, and whatever you do, basically you start losing. So it's to show how, it's to sort of test your mettle, really, to see how you cope. So that's one of the first things of note about this ship, is that it sort of made its name by not really existing. It made its name by appearing in a simulation. But then the lore around it was fleshed out across, quite a few iterations of Star Trek, both in and iterations and various media as well. The second thing of note about this ship is that this ship was the very first Star Trek Starships Collection starship that I actually got. I didn't buy it. That sounds dubious, doesn't it? But it's true, I didn't buy it. This was actually given to me. I won it at a Destination Star Trek convention that was being held, and it was in the bar, and I think it was Trek Central, the fantastic people over at Trek Central. I think it was them. It was some fantastic people anyway, but I think it was them, because I'm sure Sean Ferrick was there, which is what makes it memorable for me, obviously. But this was one of the prizes. There were a few prizes. They were handing out a few things. But yeah, the Kobayashi Maru, was the one that I won. Because I had seen the Hero Collector stall at Destination Star Trek, and I was very taken with everything in the cabinets. And I thought, well, these look really amazing. These ships look really incredible. But I wasn't inclined to start collecting them or go and buy them, because yeah, it's pretty pricey. Although they were cheaper in person at the convention. But I won this. I got it back to my hotel room that later that evening, and looked at it and thought, wow, this is actually pretty good. Let's put it on spin. I thought this is pretty good. This is a really, really nicely detailed, nicely decoed starship model. I'd never collected, I mean, I'd got a couple of the toys when I was younger, and I'd had, as some of you will be aware from earlier videos, I did have the dinky Klingon cruiser, D7 Klingon cruiser with the firing torpedoes, and the USS Enterprise with the firing torpedoes. So and the shuttlecraft, removable little orange shuttlecraft. So I had those. In fact, somewhere I still have them. Although the D7 is in a little bit worse for wear. But other than that, I had no sort of inclination. I didn't really I picked up a couple of the sort of Playmate stuff that came out in the 90s and in the 90s. And still have a couple of them now, but they were sort of rough and ready toys to play with, albeit with some electrical features, but nothing quite as detailed as these ships. And I think, looking at this, because let's get in close now and start to look at it. So there's the sort of frontal profile of the ship, and it's a really interesting design. And there's your sort of front deflector, which is built into the saucer section, not unlike some other ships we've seen. We've got the nacelles there with blue Bussard collectors, which is very interesting. and these sort of long, all-enclosed nacelles that start in front of the ship and work their way through to the back. If that's what they are, they might even be landing bay. I mean, I don't know that much about the ship because I got it boxed. I didn't get it in a bag, so I don't know whether I can't remember whether the magazine was tucked in the box or not. I know most of my magazines have gone the way of all flesh, but frustratingly, I don't know if you even had the magazine for this one. But I really do like the design. But if any of you've got it and you know what the history of these sort of things are at the bottom, because obviously we've got our actual sort of proper, in inverted commas, nacelles at the top. So whether they're like a landing raft or something else that's, you know, underneath. But it's the Tampa graphics are really, really nice. It does look like an old battered starship. There we have the registration USS Kobayashi Maru, ECS 1022. As we move along, we see the bridge there. Really grimy detailing, and I know it's, you know, sort of go, oh, it's a bit grimy. I love that grimy detailing. I really do. We then go on to what's sort of left of the hull there, which isn't a huge amount. There's some, what I assume is running lights at the back. It doesn't look like there's much in the way of armaments. I mean, there's a little bit of what I think are phaser firing points there, but nothing too dramatic. Possibly not even anywhere for a shuttlecraft to come out of. So yeah, you kind of get to the end of the ship quite quickly. It does have the Federation livery on it, so we assume it is a Federation starship. It's a USS, just isn't an NCC. So again, if anyone wants to tell me the difference between those, I'll be really interested. I know some of you will know the answers. You can see we have impulse engines here and here, which are pulled out in orange. And again, I just think it's a really, really beautifully designed, simple ship. So it does look like a sort of merchant vessel, or a passenger transport, or whatever it is. And it's just a really interesting design. So you've basically got the saucer section and this sort of extended section here. But that's it. I really don't get a sense. Let's go underneath. I really don't get much of a sense that this is a lived-in area here. Although these are interestingly portioned up. Maybe it's some sort of storage pods. Maybe it's a storage. It's a storage vessel. I can't remember what they say the ship is for in the film. There's some lovely, very bright and very eye-catching blue detailing there on the underneath of the saucer section, which is really, really pulled out well. Really catches the eye. And again, you can see that Tampa graphic there in the design there underneath the ship. I just think it's really, and then we have the livery picking up again as we end at the end of those sort of. I really need to know what those things are. If you can let me know in the comments, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I'm going to do my old favourite research and use an online search engine. But I love it. I love the line of it. I love the simplicity of it. It feels very lived in. It's very lightweight. There is I think some die cast in the front somewhere. It does feel a bit sort of front heavy. But yeah, as an interesting ship to launch my collection, it was this one. And what's more interesting, I suppose, in a way, to me, is the fact that I launched my collection and I have never done a video on it, which is just peculiar, I think. Let me just stick. I've got these lovely little LEDs now, which I'm having a lot of fun using in different things. So I'm just going to sort of stick that there underneath, maybe dim the light a little and send it round once again, so you can get a bit of a shot of that. You can see it moving around. Let's go. But again, I really do like the sort of simplicity of the design. I like the lines of the design, the way that it sort of is moving. You get a sense of it streaking through space. I really like that. I really like that design. It does kind of talk to me, and it must have talked to me because as you know now, it encouraged me to then go back the next day and absolutely start getting more of the starships. That was the convention where I picked up, I think, about 5 or 6 ships all in one go. But you can just see how it looks there as it sort of streaks away from you. Let's bring it back round the other way. But there is just some lovely lines there, which I personally really, really like and appreciate the design of this ship. So yeah, please feel free to let me know in the comments anything about the actual history of the Kobayashi Maru, what these things actually are. I will go away and look it up because I'm quite keen to know, just in case anyone doesn't know or doesn't tell me. But I will, so I will go and do that. But if you do know, by all means, do let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear about it. Similarly, if you're still here and you've enjoyed watching my little tour of the Kobayashi Maru, then please do drop the video a like. That's always much appreciated. And if you're someone who currently doesn't subscribe to the channel, then it would be absolutely wonderful if you could, because it will help me get to my next subscriber milestone, which is, you know, more of a personal achievement than anything else. But it also means that if you like content like Star Trek Starships, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Action Force, any of those, Doctor Who, anything like that, then there's probably something else on this channel that may attract your attention, so feel free to explore. But yeah, thank you for popping by. Thank you for spending the last 12 or so minutes with me. I've been the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector. You've been a fantastic companion on my voyage around the Kobayashi Maru. And as mentioned, this has been the Kobayashi Maru, as produced by Hero Collector and Eagle Moss as part of the official Starships collection from Star Trek, from the alas now defunct Hero Collector. I very much look forward to seeing you in a future, or of course in a past video. And it just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.